The NFL draft is over and it's time to do a rookie mock draft. I received this one in my inbox last night. This was post NFL draft, so this one's fresh with the landing spots. This one will give you a good idea of what to do with your rookie drafts right now if you're drafting early. This will give you an idea, and I'm going to have tons of content over the next few days, today, tomorrow, just wrapping things up, helping you guys get ready for your rookie drafts. I'll have rankings out, more mock drafts if I get them. If I get a mock draft, I'll stop everything and put it on the channel for you guys. But this is one QB. It's 2 rounds. Let's go over this real quick. That way you're ready for your rookie drafts. And before we do, make sure you tap that subscribe button. I'm going to have a ton of content coming at you over the NFL draft, helping you with your rookie drafts, helping you with your dynasty teams, and this is all year long. You get a video about every day, maybe 2, 3, 5 videos a day, and in season it gets really hot and heavy. But starting things off with the 101, the first pick in the first round, we know who it is. It's Bijan Robinson to the Atlanta Falcons. Generational talent, top tier pick, running back that the people want. The RB1 in startup drafts, so he's definitely going to be the RB1 in rookie drafts. Bijan Robinson's locked and loaded. Now to the 102. We do have some ambiguity here, but another running back's coming off the board, and that's Jahmyr Gibbs of the Detroit Lions. He's in a spot here where he can catch the ball in the backfield, get some workload. DeAndre Swift's gone, so this is understandable at this point. Then we go to the 103, third pick in the draft. They selected Jackson Smith. Najigba was the wide receiver 1 going into the draft. Looks like he'll be the wide receiver 1 coming out of the draft. Going to Seattle. Looks like a good landing spot. He'll get to play with DK Metcalf. Should get the targets from underneath. DK Metcalf should clear things out for him. Should be a very good landing spot for him. To the 104, fourth pick off the board now. Jordan Addison coming off the board from Minnesota. And he's paired with Justin Jefferson in a high-volume passing attack. Perfect landing spot for him. He doesn't have to be the alpha in his offense. He can really just cook underneath. Justin Jefferson can take the heat off of him. Everything's looking good here for Jordan Addison. Moving on to the 105, we have Quentin Johnston going to the LA Chargers. Another premier landing spot for him. It could have been really bad if he went to a bad landing spot, but going to the Chargers, all systems go here. He can get you air yards. He can get you yards after the catch. And with Justin Herbert there slinging the rock, high volume offense, the other passing weapons in the game is getting older. This just looks like a good spot for him, and there's upside to go with it. At the 106, maybe a surprise pick, maybe not. We'll see when more drafts come out. Devon Achane of the Miami Dolphins comes off the board. He's going to be a weapon for this team. They are planning to use him. Mike McDaniel is planning to use him. They want speed. They got speed now. To the 107, they selected Zay Flowers from the Baltimore Ravens. He went in the first round. Looks like he's going to get that Marquise Brown role where he'll get the deep air yards and be able to use his nuance underneath. Good route runner, good hands. Probably a good underestimated fit for fantasy drafts, considering what we saw from Marquise Brown over at Baltimore when he was there. Going to the 108 pick here, 8th player off the board, another running back. Try to guess it, but it's Kendre Miller from the New Orleans Saints. Went to the Saints in the 3rd round. Good landing spot. Might start off a little bit slow, but you know what? It could heat up at the latter part of his rookie season, and you know what? His stock might rise up. Look for it to rise up pretty soon, pretty quickly into the season, because he's got some talent and got some good size adjusted speed. Next player off the board at the 109 pick, 9th player off the board, Zach Charbonnet, Seattle Seahawks. Everybody's waiting to see when he came off the board in this draft. I guarantee it. Sharing the backfield with Kenneth Walker, and there you're going to run the ball. It's going to be very icky there in Seattle. You're not going to know which guy you're going to want to start probably, but there are going to be weeks where he does get you some fantasy production because they're planning to use him. Moving on to the 110 pick, another surprise pick coming off the board compared to what we were seeing pre-draft. Jonathan Mingo to the Carolina Panthers. Guy got drafted early on day 2 in the 2nd round. Can get you air yards, has size-adjusted athleticism, has Bryce Young, so things are going to materialize there slowly in Carolina due to the development of the wide receiver and quarterback, but that could be a hit down the line. Moving to the 111, 11th pick off the board in the 1st round, we have Dalton Kincaid to the Buffalo Bills. Good landing spots, should get a ton of opportunity there, targets going his way, good air yards, good landing spot for him. And then at 112, they selected Michael Mayer of the Raiders. Pegged to go in the first round, fell to the second round, is very nuanced, was very productive during his collegiate career, should get some opportunity to succeed there in Las Vegas. But going over the first round here real quick, 101, Bijan Robinson. Second player off the board was Jahmyr Gibbs, followed by Jackson Smith-Njigba, Jordan Addison, Quentin Johnston. Then we had Devon Achane, Zay Flowers, Kendra Miller, Zach Charbonnet, Jonathan Mingo, Dalton Kincaid, followed up by Michael Mayers. All in all, it's a good first round. The top part is what you're looking at here. That's going to be pretty standard with your leagues. On the back end, it's going to be different from league to league, and that's to be expected because this is a very ambiguous draft class, very ambiguous running back class now that a lot of guys fell, and you're going to see the wide receivers jump up, especially the big four, and you're going to see some rando picks in the back half of the first round. You're going to see that here in the next couple days as ADP stabilizes, and then people are just going to group think and do the same thing. But right now, this is what we have in this mock draft that happened. But let's go over to round two. Let's take a look at what they did. At 201, they drafted Anthony Richardson, quarterback of the Colts. You normally don't see a quarterback go this high, but this draft was weird, and Anthony Richardson has tons of upside, so a good time to go after that. At the 202 spot here, they drafted Bryce Young of the Carolina Panthers. First quarterback off the board, should get the opportunity to succeed there. They are trying to get him as much weapons as possible as well, so that's a good sign. At 203, they drafted Tyjae Spears, Tennessee Titans, and he was a day 2 pick. That's something to look at here. Good tape coming from Tulane, was very productive. Will be playing with Derrick Henry. Could be a guy that gets you some fantasy production down the line. What happens to his production if something happens to Derrick Henry? Henry's getting older, so you never know. Attrition could allow him to really jump up in production. Moving to 204 here, Josh Downs of the Colts. Guy's got a good breakout age, good production throughout his career. Fell in the draft a little bit, but went to the Colts. This could be a funny landing spot, though, due to Anthony Richardson's development. But those two could grow together. But we got a lot of pieces there here in Indy as well. Moving to 205. One of my favorite wide receivers come off the board here, and that's Marvin Mims of the Denver Broncos. It feels like this team needed to add a new piece on offense. They did with Mims. He can stretch the field. He can get you air yards. He can catch the ball downfield. Good ball skills. This could be a sneaky spot, especially since he can get air yards that could allow him to be productive in fantasy. Moving to 206, we got a tight end coming off the board. That's Sam Laporta of the Detroit Lions. The Lions needed another tight end after shipping off Hawkinson. Laporta is one of the best tight ends in the draft, and he's a sneaky option. A lot of people liked him. Good blocking, good catching the ball, so this could be a really good pick for the Detroit Lions. At 207, we got Rashee Rice from the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm not a Rashee Rice fan, but you always got to perk your ears up when a player goes to the Chiefs. A lot of times when the Chiefs select a player, it doesn't end up all good, but we're just going to have to watch the tea leaves here. They select another G5 wide receiver like they did last year with Sky Moore. Let's see what the development happens here, but there's a lot of fuel in this offense, so if he can get snaps, get targets, he could be a productive wide receiver, and at this price tag, there's nothing to lose. At 208 here, they selected C.J. Stroud, quarterback of the Texans. He's going to get opportunity early. Good price tag to pay for a quarterback in 1 QB. A lot of times you want it to be a little later, but this is like the top end price you really want to pay in most years. Weird years like this, it's a little different, but this is a good price tag for C.J. Stroud. Going down to 209, we got a running back coming off the board. I think he should go a little higher, and that's Rashawn Johnson of the Chicago Bears. I think he should have a higher price tag due to the landing spot. I think the draft capital's not the greatest, but okay. I think he's going to get opportunity early. I think he can be fantasy relevant where he went, especially in year 2, late year 1. And then at 210, we got Tank Bigsby of the Jacksonville Jaguars coming off the board. He's going to be sharing the backfield with Travis Etienne. Fell in the draft because of this, I believe. You're going to get a lot of running backs here going forward this year, next year, year after, sharing the backfield. I feel like given his draft capital, given his prowess coming out of college, I think he should have been a little bit higher. It's just hard to nail that running back position. This is the cheapest way to do so. 210's a good price tag here. I think taking Bigsby could be a sneaky bet. I just don't see high-end production, but I do see him helping you out, especially in deep dynasty leagues. At 211, we got a sneaky pick off the board, Jayden Reed of the Green Bay Packers. Jayden Reed's a good prospect, has good film. The only thing here is the Green Bay offense. How is this going to transition from Aaron Rodgers? How are things going to change? How are things going to get better? How are they going to improve? How are we going to get the volume we need? But Jayden Reed here at 211, at his draft capital, at what he was being hyped up about, isn't a horrible price tag. And then we're going to round out the second round at 212. Chase Brown to the Cincinnati Bengals. Fell in the draft, but a decent landing spot. We got to see what happens with Joe Mixon, but Joe Mixon isn't going to be there forever. The Bengals are good at selecting good running backs late in the draft. They've done that a few years now, and Chase Brown's another developmental prospect for them. He could really climb the depth chart here. They like to use 2 running backs as well. We saw Samaje Perine gets used. So Chase Brown could be a good bet in fantasy, especially at a cheap price tag. Day 3 guy. Day 3 guys you do not want to hitch your wagon to, but day 3 guys can get you production bursts as well, so you don't want to ignore them either. But the sunk cost is low, so if he does hit, they may bring in another running back no matter what. Just think about that. But going over the second round real quick, we started off with Anthony Richardson, then Bryce Young, then Tyjae Spears, Josh Downs, Marvin Mims, then follow that up with Sam Laporta, Rashee Rice, CJ Stroud, Rashawn Johnson, Tank Bigsby, Jayden Reed. Then we finished this draft up with Chase Brown. All in all, pretty standard draft compared to it was right after the NFL draft. No ADP, no rumors or anything. Just straight up drafting right after the NFL draft. And you're going to get drafts like this right after the draft. So you're going to get some ambiguity in the second and late first. And we're going to see that here in the next few days. I guarantee that, especially with how wonky this NFL draft is. I think this was a decent draft. I think this was pretty solid. I think Rashawn Johnson, Tank Bigsby could be a little bit higher. I think they could have been a little bit more valuable. I like the wide receivers in the mid-second. I also like how the wide receivers were valued in the first round. I think this is an okay draft, and I'm expecting everything to be ambiguous going forward. Let me know in the comments below who you're trying to get at your rookie picks right now, who you're trying to draft. If you have mock drafts, feel free to send them. My information is in the info box here on this YouTube video, so you can go check that out. Send it over if you want. Send me the link, and I'll cover it on the channel. If I get a ton of them, maybe I'll do some ADP or something like that helps you guys out. But make sure you smash that subscribe button on the way out so you don't miss any of these videos, because I'm pumping these out. I'm the only one on the fantasy football industry here that did like 15 videos covering the draft throughout the weekend. I am the only one. I have no editors. It's just me pumping out this content, so I'm here for you. Bet on the small guy. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll catch you on the next video.